people don't always want to hear from you about your event or your brand or your product. They want to hear from people who have experienced your event.
Welcome to the Marketing Magnified podcast. I'm your host, Mary Jo from Stream Creative, and today we have an amazing guest joining us, Jenny Lee Fowler, the Director of Social Media Strategy at MIT. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mary Jo. Thank you for asking me.
Before we dive into some questions, as I said, this is a podcast about event marketing. And we know social is going to play a big role in that. But before we dive in, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into social media strategy?
I actually like to say that I am a full-time personal assistant to my now 12-year-old daughter, and my side hustle is actually doing social media for MIT. But yeah, I took a couple left turns before ending up in social media. My background is in broadcast journalism, and I actually worked at an NBC affiliate in Central Illinois for many years, and then moved into sort of an in-house corporate public affairs department, and then moved out to Boston, ended up in higher ed, and I had a job initially doing web editorial work and social media. But as social media does, it became more and more of my responsibilities and took on more of my time. So I thought, if I can make social media 100% of my job, I think that I would like that. And then this position came up, and I guess, as they say, the rest is history. But, it's been a journey, but I tell people I'm still a storyteller. That's really what I do. It's just a different medium.
Great. As I said, this is an event marketing mini-series. And so we are covering all different parts of event marketing. We know social media plays a massive role in event strategy. In your book, Organic Social Media, you talk about building thriving online communities. How does that play into events?
I think it's huge. You as a brand, you as an event, you as a company, you just can't be in all of the spaces in the internet. I like to say all of the corners of the internet. I don't know why in my head I think of them as corners, but they're corners. So you just can't be in all of the places. But secondly, people don't always want to hear from you about your event or your brand or your product. They want to hear from people who have experienced your event or know your brand and are excited or looking forward to your event. So I think when you build a core community, these are the people that are in all of the places that you are not and cannot be, and they're talking about it or talking about your event, or they're sharing and recommending your event. So I think that's why it's really important, because your reach can only go so far, but like a recommendation, and when you add the reach of your community, then that's a huge web, right? That's a huge network. So I think it is very important to, know who your fans are and have your fans talking about what you do.
I couldn't agree more. We always like it when, people come to the event, they experience it, then they tell their friend, and then they tell their friend. So it's kind of a chain reaction in effect, and using social media that way, I think, is perfect.
100%.
For promotion.
And that's where people talk about experiences now, is on social. Even if they're direct messaging someone, that's still, that's social as well. So, yeah.
Yep. Great. Thank you. So we know your 6 M's framework.
Yes.
This is also in your book.
Yes.
Can you maybe give us like a little sneak peek of what that is?
Yeah. Well, it's my recipe to creating a really solid social media strategy. And there used to be 5 M's, but there was another one, and it happened to also be an M word. So it became my Perfect. 6 M's because it became really, really important. But it starts with mission. What are your goals? Message. What stories are you telling? And management. And management is where I say the professionals kind of separate from the amateurs, because you're really creating a process that you can repeat and a lot of people can be a part of. So we'll leave the last 3 for experience inbound.
Excellent. I love that. Okay, so for marketers who want to make the most of their event presence on social, do you have any quick like win tips or common maybe mistakes to avoid?
Yeah, just remember that social is different from, say, in person sort of event promotion. And the social audiences like to consume content a little bit differently. So, if you have a poster that might work for a sandwich board effect, that's not going to translate to social media. So just make sure that you're creating content that is social first with social in mind. And also remember, a lot of people consume social videos without audio on. So make sure there's captions. Open captions are great. Closed captions are great too. And just, think of the experience when someone experiences the event promotion on your phone. So, an image that may look great on a huge poster or your huge work screen or a desktop screen won't always translate to a small phone. So just remember the experience and make it social first.
Perfect. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Really kind of keep your content in mind to who's going to consume it and how they're going to receive it.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, this has been a good conversation. I'm very excited. Any other social media nuggets you want to leave our audience with?
Yeah, I also think that there are some platforms that are better fit for event promotion than others. I would say Instagram, but not Instagram feed. I would use Instagram stories. And there's a lot of different fun ways that you can promote your event on Instagram stories. They've got lots of options and stickers and time clock countdowns. So you can really have fun with it there. I think Facebook creates its own events. Like you can create a Facebook event and that's a good fit too. But I think, trying to shoehorn event promotion into every certain platform doesn't always work. So I would pick and choose. I think those two I named are better fits, but also where your audience is.
Perfect. Great. Well, as I said, I was going to keep it nice and short. Thank you so much for our conversation today.
Hey, Joe, thank you.
We'll see you.